Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Those Fake Nerds. I'm your host, Brian. And ever since last week, when the Switch was officially promoted, teased, shown off at their own Nintendo Direct, there have been issues surrounding the Switch and how much it's going to cost. So, first and foremost, people were upset that the price to start things where it is going to be $459 for a base console or $499 for the base console plus Mario Kart World. But then people were further upset because game prices were up to $80. Mario Kart World was supposed to be $80, and people were like, hey, that sucks. And Nintendo was like, well, Donkey Kong Country $70 or Donkey Kong whatever it is $70. So please Bonanza, right? So please spend that. So I think a lot of people were kind of like hit with this like realization that ultimately Nintendo was just going to charge tons of money for this console and their games. And that unfortunately would have a ripple effect across the industry as other companies who maybe make games that aren't quite as good as Nintendo games will take this and run with it. And every game's going to be at least $70. Many games probably going to be at least $80. If we had to guess, NBA 2K and Madden, yearly franchises, get ready to spend $80 on them. That might actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back for me personally when it comes to purchasing Madden. But then things were a little worse because no longer were you able to pre-order it. It was supposed to be this week that you were supposed to be able to pre-order it. You're not able to because tariffs were implemented and there's a whole trade war. So Nintendo was like, oh, we don't know how much it's going to cost with these tariffs yet. So we're putting that on hold. So that in and of itself, very disappointing. So now you have probably a more expensive console going for $600, maybe $700 due to the tariffs. And the games are still incredibly expensive. So that has been the story basically of the Nintendo Switch. It's too expensive. It's so expensive. And MP First has a story about why these are so expensive from Nintendo themselves. So from MP First and Sam Shabazz, Nintendo justifies $80 price tag for Switch 2 games, citing development and replayability as key factors. When Nintendo Switch 2 was revealed, the gaming world was surprised to see some of its games would be priced higher than PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S titles. Doug Bowser, still insane that the name of President of America, President of Nintendo of America is Doug Bowser, but Doug Bowser, President of Nintendo of America, has shared details about the pricing strategy for the games on the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 and why some are more expensive than others. Bowser confirmed that the Nintendo plans to use a flexible pricing approach for Switch 2 games rather than sticking to a fixed price. This means that some games could come with a price tag of $80 or more, but the cost will vary depending on various factors. So here's what Bowser said in an interview with Washington Post. Quote, what you see right there is variable pricing. We'll look at each game, really look at the development and what that's gone into the game, the breadth and depth of the gameplay, if you will, the durability over time, and the repeatability of gameplay experiences, close quote. He highlighted that factors like game development, gameplay depth, replayability, longevity will all play a role in determining the right price. This means consumers can expect prices to vary across different games with no set pricing standard. Additionally, Bowser discussed Nintendo's strategy of keeping their pricing flexible based on various factors specific to each title, giving fans a variety of experiences without being tied to a fixed price model. And then it adds a little bit that the initial price, that $459 and $449 that people get upset with, weren't even factoring in tariff prices. So I think ultimately yes, at face value, it does make sense that different games will have different prices, and games that are bigger or more replayable, because they're bigger, will cost more. However, I do think that this is something that Nintendo might come to regret. I think as times get harder economically for people, and times certainly will be getting harder for people economically due to the tariffs and then the stock market going down and then layoffs, one after another. People aren't going to have the disposable income to buy the Switch 2 in general, or, a lot of games. They might buy one game, every 6 months instead of a couple. And I think that's going to really hurt Nintendo's bottom line. And I think that ultimately we'll see the Nintendo Switch not perform as well as it maybe could. So we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously disappointing to see the Nintendo Switch 2 be so expensive. I was looking forward to checking it out when it came out, but I think now, with the tariffs and the price of games and everything, it's firmly in a, maybe I'll get one someday, maybe when there's a sale or a bundle, like a Pokemon bundle that I really want or something. I'll spend all the money it takes to get a Switch 2, but right when it comes out, I'm not particularly interested in it. So, what are your thoughts about all of this? Do you agree with the reasoning behind the variable price modeling of the Switch that's causing games to be up to $80? Do you think this is just Nintendo being greedy and putting a potential price that people will pay because they're fans of Nintendo as a brand rather than, okay with spending that much? Let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments. I'm Brian. I'm a fake nerd, but this has been some real news. Make sure you check out the main channel where you get everything, our Where You Get Sports channel where we do this kind of thing, but with sports, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio. We will see you all in the next one.